South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south-of-the-border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Hi, I'm Kurt Angle. I represented the United States in the Olympics in 1996 and won a gold medal. Then I parlayed that into a pro wrestling career. I saw a commercial a few years ago.
Tunnel to Towers Foundation made a promise.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation is paying off the mortgages for Gold Star families with young children. I thought, this is really cool. I want to be a part of it. My dad served in the Army for 30 years. We didn't have a lot of money, but he made sure we had what we needed. He set a great example for all of us. He died in a construction accident my freshman year in high school. When he died, we didn't have any income coming in, and we ended up being forced to move out of our house. I was devastated. So I understand what these families are going through, and to have an organization like Tunnel to Towers come in and pick you up and carry you and give you a home to live in, I think that's just amazing. I'd like to ask you to donate $11 a month to support these efforts by going to t2t.org or calling 1-844-BRAVEST.
The following is a Race Day Las Vegas presentation in association with Siraco Productions Limited on the Race Day Las Vegas Radio Network.
Live from the gaming capital of the world, time for Race Day Las Vegas, covering the sport of kings with a Las Vegas perspective. Now to the race desk with your host, Ralph Siraco.
From the backstretch to the turf club, at the racebooks and on the internet. To all horse players around the world, a good morning.
All righty. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Race Day Las Vegas radio program. We come to you live and direct from the gaming capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, right here at our studios at the South Point Hotel Casino Complex on Las Vegas Boulevard in Las Vegas, and the South Point Studio streaming network at YouTube. We welcome you to the show, welcoming all of those running around town early this morning, listening to us over our anchor radio station, Sports Talk 1400 AM, 107.1 FM, and of course all our other websites and platforms that we have, including our websites, racedaylasvegas.com, .vegas, .world, .global. Haven't forgot you with your devices either. Gotta have your apps for your Google phone, your iPhone, or your Android, and we do. The KSHP app will allow you to listen to us through the radio station. Of course, the YouTube app, you can see and hear us through the YouTube app as well. And of course, anywhere you get your podcasting, we're there too. We're all over the place, really. So good morning and welcome to another week as we ramp up another week covering the great sport of kings, Las Vegas style. And as you know, we raced on Monday and we had a Monday show. So I hope everybody enjoyed that one day off you got. At least I did. I kind of rested yesterday and kind of put all the to-do list a little bit further down the road. And I hope you did too, because we're ramping it up for another big weekend of racing. Really, it is, because we're going to start out early this week on Friday at Penn National. They've got some great races at Penn National on Friday. 4 big stakes races there, including the $400,000 Grade 3 Penn Mile. And when you put up that kind of money in big stakes races at a racetrack, the private jets and the jets overall find their way to the area there at the track to bring all these big riders in. So on Friday night, you have Flavien Prat, John Velasquez, Jose and Irad Ortiz, Juan Hernandez from Southern California, Paco Lopez, Javier Castellano, Frankie Dettori, and Manny Franco will all have mounts in those big races at Penn National on Friday. It is Friday at Penn National, and we'll be covering it with our handicappers, at least those 4 races. And then on Saturday, Churchill Downs has a big, big day of racing. It's called the Stephen Foster Preview Day of Racing. There'll be 6 stakes races, 5 of which are graded stakes races, and they will be previewing all of the big races that will happen on Stephen Foster Day. And among the races at Churchill Downs in those 6 stakes races, you're going to have the another face-off between 2 speedsters, Skelly and World Record. And Derby winner Mystic Dan is going to be also in one of the stakes races there at Churchill Downs, and that'll happen on Saturday. So we've got 10 graded stakes races to be run on Saturday that include 4 more at Woodbine Racecourse north of the border. They got a big graded stakes racing day at Woodbine. So we're looking ahead to Saturday, starting off at Friday with Penn National. So kind of like there's no rest for the race player right now. We're going to have some great races on Friday and Saturday. And then, of course, we're on the threshold of the Belmont Stakes Festival of Racing at Saratoga, which will happen. It'll start 1 week from today. 1 week from today will be the start of that 1 week of stakes races at Saratoga. I need not tell you how many great stakes races are on tap for that week at Saratoga, but you're going to have all of the best thoroughbreds in all the categories that are in training right now and ready to go, running either at Churchill Downs this weekend or at Saratoga next week. So stand by, folks. We're going to have a good time there, that's for sure. Looking ahead to some of the other things that happened, I'm going to take a look at the results on Monday, on Memorial Day, just quickly for you. At Aqueduct on Monday, by the way, that was the closing day at Aqueduct. As you know, they're going to take a respite for all this week, leading through the entire week up till next Wednesday, 1 week from today. For the entire week, 1 week, there will be no racing, major racing in the state of New York at either Belmont at Aqueduct or at Saratoga. They're making their way up to Saratoga now Aqueduct, the closing closing was yesterday. Now they're going to take a brief respite until the Belmont Racing Festival starts at Saratoga 1 week from today. So on Monday at Belmont at Aqueduct, Ricardo Santana had a big day. He won 3 races in a row. He won the second race. It paid $5.50. Then came back in the third race, paying $6.70 for trainer Jorge Abreu. And then in the fourth race, he won with City Blocks. City Blocks, of course, was the feature play on the show from Jerry Jacobus. So Jerry got a winner there for us on Monday. Santana's third win in a row. That horse paid $5.40. Then we went to the fifth race. Biggest price of the day. That winner paid $75.50 for a $2 win bet that created the payoff in the early pick 5 of $3,548.25. Later on, Todd Pletcher teamed up with Kendrick Carmouche to have a $19 winner in the sixth race. Jose Lascano and Linda Rice got together again. They won a race on Monday at Belmont at Aqueduct, paying $3.70. And then there was a 19-20 winner for Chris Engelhardt and Joel Rosario, followed up by the ninth and final race winner, the favorite at $3.60, Manny Franco, riding for Chat Brown. But even at that late pick 5 paid $9,216.50. Of course, it started out with that $75.50 winner. The pick 6 on Monday at Belmont at Aqueduct paid $39,425.50 there. Then we take a look at Churchill Downs. At Churchill Downs on Monday, Brad Cox and Luan Machado got together to win the second race at 9:20. And then Junior Alvarado came with his first of 2 winners on the day in the fourth race for Vicky Oliver, paying $12.24. Corey Lannery had a couple of winners as well. His first win came in the fifth race, paying $21.70. And that was part of the early pick 5. And those horses, together with some other prices in the early pick 5, paid $4,260.57 in the early pick 5 at Churchill on Monday. And then we had Corey Lannery's second win of the day came for Dale Romans in the seventh race, paying $10.14. And Junior Alvarado's second win of the day came in the featured Grade 3 Winning Colors Stakes, where Too Sharp was just that. She popped out of the gate on top and never looked back. Too Sharp goes wire to wire, appropriately named in the Winning Colors for Phil Bauer. That paid $5.82, outrunning Benedetta and Hope Road, who finished third. The late pick 5 at Churchill Downs paid $5,279.41. The pick 6 paid over $10,000. And then at Santa Anita on Monday, with those 3 big stakes races going on there, Santa Anita on Monday, first race winner, Armando Ayuso for Leonard Powell, paid $26.20. Ayuso came back in the second race, accounting for the early double. That winner paid $21 even for Steve Knapp. So the early pick 5 started out good at Santa Anita on Monday. And then Kyle Frey came with a winner in the fourth race. Wound Up won her 6th consecutive race. This horse won his 6th race in a row, Wound Up, and gave trainer Librado Baraccio his 100th U.S. win. That in the fourth race on Monday. That horse paid $3.40 as the favorite. 6 in a row for an optional claiming horse. All right, then we get to the first of the 3 stakes races, the Gamely. The Gamely for the fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, won by Be Your Best. Be Your Best went gate to wire to wire, under Irad Ortiz Jr. for Safi Joseph Jr. and paid $6.20 for the win there. Finishing second in the race, Lady Claypool. Third was Ligeri. A note in this race, number 4, Public Assembly, which was one of the contenders in the race, broke through the starting gate before the race started. So that horse ran a subpar race and was probably because broke through the starting gate. You know the old saying in horse racing, you have a horse breaking through the starting gate before the race, and it's almost automatic that horse don't win. And that was definitely the case in the Gamely. The Hollywood Gold Cup, won by Skippy Longstockings. Yep, Skippy Longstockings ran down Midnight Mammoth to win the Hollywood Gold Cup for Safi Joseph Jr. and Irad Ortiz Jr. So Irad and Safi teamed up together to win the first two of the three stakes races at Hollywood at the Hollywood meet at Santa Anita, the Hollywood Gold Cup, on Monday. Skippy Longstockings, what a story this horse is. He was purchased for $37,000. That was his purchase price, $37,000. He has now banked over $3.6 million in earnings with the win in the Hollywood Gold Cup. And then finally, the third of the three stakes races, the Shoemaker Mile at a mile on the turf, was won by King of Gosford, who got up in the final jumps for Flavian Pratt and Phil D'Amato, paying $10.80, outrunning Mi Hermano Ramon, and finishing third in the race was Cabo Spirit. John Lindo, on his sheet, had the late pick four. It was a favorite pick four, really, but it paid $39.45 for a 50-cent away. John Lindo hits that on his sheet on Monday at Santa Anita. And that's what happened at Santa Anita on Monday. But I can tell you this, that along with those two winners at Santa Anita on Monday, earlier in the day, Safi Joseph Jr. sent out the winner of the Memorial Day sprint. That was Mystic Lake at Lone Star Park. Mystic Lake, the Memorial Day sprint winner there. They gave Safi Joseph Jr. 3 wins on Monday. It's really funny because Safi Joseph is up at Saratoga, so he wasn't at either one of the tracks for those wins by his horses in the stakes races on Monday. However, he wasn't even in his place that he's renting. He said he can't get into the house that he's renting up there at Saratoga for that short meet until Monday. So he was sitting in a hotel room watching all of his horses win around the country. Safi Joseph Jr. winning 3 big Memorial Day stakes races on Monday. All right. I want to congratulate jockey Paul Suter. Paul Suter, the Canadian jockey, won the Avelino Gomez Award. It's like the George Wolfe Award here in America, but the Avelino Gomez Award is given to a Canadian-born or Canadian-raised jockey and a regular Canadian rider as well. Paul Suter fits that and won the Avelino Gomez Award this year in Canada, so we congratulate him for that. And I'm going to take a look real quick here at the update for the Belmont Stakes. Now, you know, the Belmont Stakes, as you can see behind us, is 10 days away now. But here's the possibles for the Belmont Stakes coming up 1 week from Saturday. Of course, you got the Kentucky Derby winner, Sovereignty, who is heading for the Belmont. Baeza, who finished third in the Kentucky Derby, is also heading to the Belmont. Rodriguez, after his quarter crack issues that kept him out of both the Derby and the Preakness for Bob Baffert. Remember, he won the Wood Memorial going gate to wire. Rodriguez did his final preparations. He's on his way for the Belmont Stakes. Heart of Honor. This is a horse who finished 5th in the Preakness Stakes. He's a horse that acts up at the starting gate. So before Heart of Honor can run, he has to go back to the starting gate and get approved again by the starting gate crew up at Saratoga to run in this race. And they say he's going to do that, but the horse it caused a lot of problems delaying the start at the Preakness in his last race. He finished 5th in that race, by the way. Heart of Honor is expected to go. Hill Road, the winner of the Peter Pan Stakes. The Peter Pan, of course, is the New York prep for the Travers Stakes. But Hill Road for Chad Brown will be probably entered in the Belmont. He won the Peter Pan in his last race. Of course, we're still waiting for Journalism, who finished 2nd in the Kentucky Derby and who won the Preakness Stakes in that unbelievable run. Journalism is at Saratoga. He is working out at Saratoga, settling in at Saratoga, and Michael McCarthy, his trainer, said he'll be flying up there next week, and they will make a final decision whether he shows up and runs in the Belmont Stakes or not. I would have to say right now it's a 60-40 proposition that he will run. So we'll wait and see about that. If journalism runs, then we have a convergence of the big three. The winner of the Kentucky Derby, the second place finisher in the Kentucky Derby, and the third place finisher in the Kentucky Derby in journalism, sovereignty, and Baeza. That'll be a good race if that materializes. Others possible for the race include Crudo. Crudo is an offspring of Justify, a Triple Crown winner for Todd Pletcher. That horse won the Sir Barton Stakes at Pimlico in his last start. You have Grande, a son of Curlin, also trained by Todd Pletcher. Of course, that's the Rapoli entry there. Was second in the Wood Memorial behind Rodriguez. And Captain Cook, who was third in the Peter Pan Stakes in his most recent run. Captain Cook trained by Dick Dutrow Jr. So that is the possibles and the probables for the Belmont Stakes coming up in 10 days. So we'll wait and see about that. All right. As far as some of the horses that won't be going, Goscar won't go. And Sandman, who they thought might show up for the Belmont Stakes, will not. He is at Saratoga, but Sandman is going to prep at Saratoga for the Jim Dandy Stakes that comes up on the 26th of April. So he's going to take a little break until he runs in the Jim Dandy at April. One final note, it was nice to see on Monday at Belmont at Aqueduct, they took time out after the second race in an absolute full winner's circle presentation of everybody, the jockeys, trainers, family, friends, etc., to pay tribute to and have a moment of silence for trainer Christophe Clement, who, of course, passed away last week. And so you have it. All right, on today's show, Jonathan Ardoon is under the weather. He's got he's working with a little bit of a flu. He said it feels okay, but he's going to take a rest today. But we do have, of course, Dwayne Colucci from the Rampart, which will be with us, Rich Eng, John Leno, and Jerry J as well. And, of course, your racing menu comes up next. So, without any further ado, we'll take our first break on this Wednesday as we begin another week covering the great Sport of Kings Las Vegas style as they continue to work out at the track in the morning. We'll be right back.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas for this Wednesday. Look, it's going to be a warm Las Vegas week. 77 degrees right now. We're going to get up to 100 degrees today here in Las Vegas, but we do have a heat warning showing up towards the end of the week. By Saturday, we're going to get up to 106 degrees here in Las Vegas, but it'll be sunny and beautiful, and as we always say, fast, firm, and perfect, always in the race and sports book. And with all those great races, you know we'll be watching them in the race book. Talking about other stakes races on Saturday at Santa Anita, the renewal of the Grade 3 Triple Bend Stakes only had 5 entered, just 5 horses in the Triple Bend on Saturday at Santa Anita. Weather around the country, Miami 88, New York with a little bit of rain going on 66. Doesn't matter, there's no racing there going on today. Chicago has 59 with some rain in it. There's more of that activity of precipitation there from the Midwest to the east. Phoenix, Arizona will be the hot spot in the nation today at 102. Los Angeles 73, and of course here in Las Vegas, we're going to get to 100 degrees for today. All right, here's your menu. And we only have 5 tracks today on the menu because Penn National, that was scheduled to go today, has been canceled. The races have been canceled at Penn National. We told you about this over the weekend because of lack of entries. Not because of the weather, because of lack of entries, Penn National will not race today. So we only have 5 tracks to go. Here is that racing menu of 5 tracks for today, reminding you the first post times we broadcast on the show each and every day for the racing menu reflect the start times in the Pacific time zone because that's where we're at here in Las Vegas. And if you're here going to the races in our race book at South Point, these will be the first post times for that. If you're in another time zone, adjust to it from whatever your time zone is to the Pacific time zone. This way you won't miss anything. Okay? We begin with Churchill Downs. Churchill Downs has a first post time. I take that back. Churchill is not running today. Delaware Park is our first track on our menu. Delaware Park has a first post time of 9:35. 9:35 first posted Delaware Park today. Next comes Parks Racing. Parks Racing has a Pick 5 jackpot carryover of $36,003 today. $36,003 for the Pick 6 jackpot at Parks Racing. First post time at Parks is set at 9:40. After that comes Finger Lakes. Finger Lakes has a first post time of 10 a.m. Horseshoe Indianapolis will follow at 11:10. 11:10 first post there. And we wrap up the 5 tracks for today with Presque Isle Downs. That first post time is at 12:30 Pacific. And that's the racing menu for today. All right, we're going to be right back, and then we'll go with our handicappers. Jonathan Hardoon, of course, not with us today, but we do have John Lendo, we have Rich Eng, we have Dwayne Colucci, and of course, Jerry Jackowitz showing up at the end to give us a thought or two about whatever is on his mind. We'll be right back.
Here we are in Houston, opening up our first veteran village. This beautiful building that's going to house 161 homeless veterans. Any veteran that risked their lives and are struggling with PTSD, mental illness, addiction. We're also building what I call comfort homes, 500 square foot homes. These are for older homeless veterans, so they have their own space and give them back some of their dignity, some of their independence, and most certainly give them back their life. Go to T2T.org to learn how you can change a veteran's life forever.
South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rockin' dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grand View Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show, every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grand View Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the Showroom and the Grand View Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas. Time to go out to Dwayne Colucci standing by from the Rampart. Dwayne, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How are we doing today at the fabulous South Point?
Well, you know, it's we're trying to recover from the big Memorial Day weekend, but you don't have too much time to recover because we got a big weekend of racing coming up, starting with Friday at Penn National with all these big stakes races and all these jockeys from around the country having mounts and going to ride there on Friday. And then, of course, Saturday, the big, preview, the Stephen Foster preview day with 6 stakes races graded, 5 of them graded at Churchill Downs.
Yeah, it's actually turning out to be bigger than the past weekend. It's unbelievable. You know how that pen card is. It usually, with the mile and all that, attracts superstar power, like you said, whether it's Flavian Pratt, Irad Ortiz. These guys usually commute there and have mounts. And then you have the huge weekend card at Churchill Downs as well with the Stephen Foster. So it's going to be excellent horse racing leading up to that festival at Saratoga in a couple of weeks, and the Belmont Stakes, which at Saratoga for the second year in a row is just going to be a fabulous race. We know it's shaping up to be tremendous. All the superstars are going to be there, all the best 3-year-olds, and the cards that lead up to that Super Saturday are just going to be phenomenal. We know how Saratoga does it, Ralph. Definitely the premier race meet during the summer, and definitely one of the best racetracks and nostalgic racetracks that we have left here in America.
All I can say is, Dwayne, that, by the way, the Stephen Foster preview day is Saturday. Stephen Foster doesn't come out. That actual race won't be until towards the end of June. But these will be all preview races for the stakes races that will happen then. But I will say, as far as the Belmont Stakes is concerned, if we can get journalism to go, and we have Sovereignty and Baeza up there, first 3 finishers in the Kentucky Derby, that'll make it an exciting race. If journalism doesn't show up, I got to tell you that the Met Mile that's coming up strong with the horses like, it's just an amazing race the Met Mile is going to be. I think that might outshine the Belmont.
Yeah, you never know what Safi has up his sleeve with White Barrio. And definitely, he transferred from Rick Dutrow. Actually, it was Safi, then Dutrow, back to Safi.
Yeah.
And the horse is just phenomenal, right, Ralph? I mean, just one of the best horses that we've seen come along in the last 10 years. And he's definitely battle-tested. And, he definitely likes Saratoga, but I believe Fierceness is going to be in there. Is that not correct, if he's healthy? So that's another monster runner from the Todd Pletcher barn. And we just know what he brings to the table, and he likes Saratoga as well. So, everything is shaping up well. I still think that Belmont Stakes, with Baeza and Sovereignty, if journalism doesn't go, and then you have this Chad Brown, this Heart of Honor that's coming into his own now. It took him a little time because he came over from Europe, and, he was running and putzing around at Tampa a little, and now all of a sudden he ran really well in his last race at Aqueduct. So we'll see what he brings to the table as well. But it'd be really excellent if journalism could join the other 2 top 3-year-olds in Baeza and Sovereignty. And, Sovereignty, Bill Mott has been very outspoken about how he's been leading up to the race. And we saw Baeza the other day, 112 and change. Yeah. He looked really good, in my opinion. I thought he was just going so easily. The workmate was like totally 3-4 lengths behind. And, he wasn't really giving his best, Baeza, because he was by the workmate before the top of the stretch, Ralph. So, when you don't see the competition, you just seem to glide, and still coming home 112 and change. Sheriffs was really happy with that workout, and I'm pleased because, I'm a big Baeza backer, and I think the horse is just going to be in tremendous shape for the Belmont Stakes and be possibly the horse to beat. But we know if journalism's there, that horse is just capable of anything after that Preakness run. It was just tremendous. And, maybe he's body sore. That's why they're not verifying if he's definitely going to compete because, the wear and tear of the Triple Crown, we don't have to document that. We talk about it quite often, Ralph, and it's very difficult to compete in the 5 weeks.
Well, all I can say, Dwayne, is there's going to be an equipment change for journalism in the Belmont Stakes,
What's that?
Boxing gloves off.
Yes, but you never know. Rispoli always has them. I heard he's a little roughhouser behind the scenes in the jockey room. So, he definitely will come to fight. We know that. But I think he's going to have directions where, try and steer clear. The field is going to be a lot smaller and more compact. And
just go around them. That's all. Just,
right, exactly.
Anyhow, that's up there. There's a lot of great racing, a lot of great stakes races yet to come before we get to that Belmont Festival 1 week from today. And of course, race players are out there wanting to play the races. So, we always depend on you for a pick. We got a nice one last week.
Yeah, definitely. We were going really well a couple of weeks, and then last week was a little rougher, but we did have an excellent winner on Sports by the Book over the weekend. I don't know if they shared that with you, Ralph.
Yeah,
It was just
your papers are, I think, over your microphone there.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ralph. We had a tremendous winner on Sports by the Book there over the weekend.
Yeah.
As I was saying, we gave out a good winner. And today at Horseshoe, I like in the seventh race the one horse, and Vincent Chaminade is riding the horse. I'm just flipping through real quick. I'm sorry I didn't text it for the graphic, but yeah, Las Scalarenta is the name of the horse, and it's Ignacio Correa and Vincent Chaminade. This horse comes from Gulfstream. He has some superior buyer figures, I feel, to this field. If you see them, he's turf. He's a turf horse, and he's got some 60s and mid 60s, whereas the rest of the field has 50s. In this particular race, he's been on the shelf since March, but he had some really good runs with Tyler Gaffalione at Gulfstream Park, and I think this horse has a win already, if I'm not mistaken, over the Indiana Horseshoe Racetrack, which is so important when you're dealing with the Indiana Horseshoe Turf Course. It's very tight turns. You have to be close. I think this horse has positional speed and breaking from the rail. He shouldn't be too far off of the pace. He should save ground, should be able to slingshot by these horses. And Chaminade is definitely he's a good rider. He's up and coming on the turf scene, especially. And, he's very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this horse has an excellent chance. We're seeing, I believe it's a 6-1 morning line. And definitely he's going to be one of the horses to beat in that race. But I'm going to be betting him to win today. That's the seventh race at Horseshoe Indianapolis, the one horse with Vincent Chaminade, La Scalarenta.
La Scala Renta, the one horse in the seventh race at Horseshoe Indianapolis. That race goes about a little after about 2:15 our time here in Las Vegas. The one horse in the seventh race is Mr. Dwayne's pick for the race day listeners. And Dwayne, I know that the activity is always great there at your place for the horse players because, like the South Point, you guys really love horse players up there in the Summerlin area.
Yeah, definitely, Ralph. And the Memorial Day weekend was such a success. And I say it time and time again, this show is a major part of it, without a doubt. Ralph, you do the best, promotions there is for horse racing, especially here in Las Vegas. It's not a dying industry. The numbers have proven it with the handle increase here in Nevada on both the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness. My property was just off the hook. I mean, way larger than what the state, our increases. Mm-hmm. And I can't thank our patrons enough, without a doubt, at the Rampart. Come and see me. We have everything. We have the racing forms. We dedicate 1/3 of the video wall, and on big days, 2/3 of the video wall to horse racing. That's a 55-foot video wall, where I am definitely one of the biggest horse racing advocates. You know that, Ralph. I love the game. It's still the sport of kings.
You better believe it, my man. And all us commoners certainly support that as well. Hey, thanks a lot, Dwayne. We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, thank you, Ralph, definitely. And God bless the Christophe Clement family. That was a terrible loss. I just wanted to mention that. Christophe was a great horseman and so young. It's just devastating to see a great trainer like that go so young.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm sure they appreciate that, Dwayne. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Ralph.
All right. We are, I guess, going to get ready to go to Rich Yang standing by. So let's bring on Richie Yang. Richie, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ralphie. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, listeners.
Well, just when we thought the big Memorial Day of block of racing was done and we get a chance to maybe regroup, you have one day to regroup because we got another big weekend of racing coming up, starting on Friday at Penn National and right into Saturday at Churchill Downs. And then the next thing you know, it's Belmont Festival Week.
Yeah, Friday night at Penn National, and if people have been watching FanDuel, they've seen the commercials with a good friend of ours, Ralph, Larry Colmus, is going to go call the stakes races and make a special appearance. So if anybody's in that Granville, Pennsylvania area, go out and see Larry. Larry's a great guy and obviously a heck of an announcer.
He sure is, that's for sure. Richie, any thoughts about anything that happened over the weekend before we get a pick from you today?
Nothing other than the fact that, this is the fun time of year for us, really, Ralph. You got the Triple Crown races, 3 of them in 5 weeks, but every weekend there's something big going on throughout the country. I heard you talking about the Stephen Foster preview card at Churchill Downs. Then we got the Belmont at Saratoga week, which should be fantastic. They're going to run Wednesday through Sunday up at Saratoga. And again, if people have not been to Saratoga before, you got to put that on your bucket list because it is one of the great venues in all of sports. And I'm not talking just horse racing. I'm talking about all of sports. I'm talking like a Fenway Park or a Wrigley Field, something like that. Saratoga is right up there as one of the great sporting venues in the world to watch horse racing. So
Yeah.
make it a point to get up there.
And the whole town embraces the great sport of kings as well. That's always a nice touch, no matter where you go at Saratoga. There's somebody with a racing form or somebody that's famous in racing that's in and about around Saratoga, that's for sure. Hey, thanks a lot, Richie. But we need a pick from you, buddy.
Yeah, I got a pick. I tell you what, I heard Dwayne give out the seventh race, the one horse over at the Horseshoe, Indianapolis. Well, this will make it easy to remember at Presque Isle Downs because it's the seventh race, also the one horse at Presque Isle Downs. It's a mile and 70 yards on the Tapeta. The one is Grounded, who is 7-2 in the morning line. The angle for me, Ralph, is this horse looks like lone early speed. So the kid Montanez is going to put this horse on a lead. Let's see if he can nurse this horse along for the entire route race. Number 1, Grounded, race 7, Presque Isle Downs.
Mile and 70 yards is the distance, and he'll have the shortest route to the winner's circle. That's for sure, breaking from the rail. Number 1, Grounded, looking for him to make every pole a winning one. A 7-2 on the morning line. The 1 in the seventh race at Presque Isle Downs. That'll go about 10 minutes after 3 o'clock our time here in Las Vegas. The 1 in the 7th at Presque Isle Downs. Thanks a lot, Rich. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, thanks, Ralph. Good luck, everybody.
All righty. When we come back, we've got John Lindo standing by from Southern California. I got to wonder what John Lindo thought about those races over the weekend, especially on Monday out at Santa Anita as they continue to work out in the mornings. We'll be right back.
South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style Paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book, South Point Studio.
This is the best sports betting network.
I would argue it is a total mismatch.
There's value with underdog prices in series.
I would lean to the under here.
My numbers are saying I got to bet the Tigers.
Two-way action.
When in doubt, we juice that favorite, that extra nickel.
Sports by the book, South Point Studio.
Forget about it. The best.
The Race Day Las Vegas Show, the only exclusive daily local media racing information source in Las Vegas.
Right, back on Race Day Las Vegas. Now we're going to go out to Southern California with John Lindo standing by. John, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Did you get enough rest over that one day we had off?
Fresh and ready to go, Ralph. We'll be ready for this weekend. And we'll have a busy next couple of weeks. That Belmont and Saratoga meet next week kicks in. So there'll be a lot going on.
I got to tell you now, I know that you do a Lindo Report on special racing days. And I got to tell you that in all honesty, when it begins on Wednesday and goes through Saturday at Saratoga, every day is a day full of stakes races there. What's the Lindo Report doing?
Yeah, I'll do that entire week of Belmont and Saratoga next week. I think you have to.
Yeah.
The quality of racing is going to be through the roof. We'll obviously cover Santa Anita next week. So those will be the 2 tracks every day next week. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping that we get that rematch of the 1, 2, 3 finishers in the Kentucky Derby in that Belmont, on the 7th.
Yeah, no kidding. That's for sure. And I guess we start out this week on Friday with those 4 stakes races at Penn National. It has all the big jockeys from both coasts showing up there for those big stakes races there at Penn National on Friday. And then, of course, on Saturday, the Stephen Foster preview day at Churchill Downs, 6 stakes races, and 5 of them are graded stakes races. You got Mystic Dan, who is the Kentucky Derby winner, back, and you've also got a great sprint race going on there that's going to feature the showdown between Skelly and World Record again.
Yeah, they're drawing the 2 outside posts. They both got a ton of speed, so, gates open, they're going to come out running. That'll go as race number 6 on the card there at Churchill Downs on Saturday.
Now, Saturday also features a stakes race, a Grade 3 at Santa Anita, the Triple Bend. But like a lot of the stakes races right now in Southern California, it showed up with a light field. There's only 5 in it. However, the return of Nisos is in that field.
Right, Nisos comes off that long layoff and got beat a nose in the Churchill Downs over on the Derby undercard.
Mm-hmm.
That was a terrific race won by Mindframe. And I think Nisos is part of the reason why there's only 5 in that race on Saturday. I'm a little surprised he's there and maybe not waiting for the Met Mile, but we'll see what they have in store for Nisos. I think obviously after that long layoff, you got to get a win and get a confidence booster. Looks like a good spot for him on Saturday.
Yeah, the others are Vlahos will break on the rail. Nisos will be the 2-horse. Spirit of Makina will be the 3. Smooth Cruisin' will be the 4. And Dr. Venkman will be the 5-horse in the race. And really out of those horses, the most notable and the one that had probably the best race in his last race was Nisos.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dr. Venkman's coming off a layoff. He's a really good sprinter on his day, and he draws outside. We'll see. Mark Ladd is very good with horses coming off layoffs, but they better have their running shoes on because if Nisos runs his race, we know how good he is. So looking forward to seeing his return to California there. Limits the field sizes. And to be honest with you, the field sizes are a little bit light through this weekend after that Memorial Day card at Santa Anita last Monday.
John, I know that Santa Anita is picking up 2 Thursday cards before the Hollywood meet is over and they move to Los Alamitos, correct?
I think so. I was looking at the calendar. I know they're picking up Thursday, June the 12th. I do not think that I looked on the Santa Anita calendar on their website, and they don't have June the 5th as a racing day. So we'll see. I know for sure there's one. The calendar could be wrong on their website. Mm-hmm. Right now, I'm assuming it's just the one added day on Thursday, June the 12th.
Well, having watched a lot of FanDuel over on Monday at home, I did hear one of the commentators there say they were picking up 2 Thursdays, but we'll wait and see whether it is or not. But at least picking up 1 Thursday is a lot better. But, with the amount of horses that they got going in the races now, picking up an extra day is going to be really taxing.
Well, you've got basically a month from the end of Santa Anita to the start of Del Mar. So those turf horses are going to want to get a race in that last week if possible. And there's no need to save the turf course after that week. So you can run some more grass races. That'll open up some options. And I had heard the same thing on FanDuel, which is why I checked in the first place. So, but as far as what Santa Anita is reporting, just the one added day on the 12th, obviously they could update that website anytime. And if they do, we'll let you know. And one other announcement this morning, Ralph, they announced the sites of the Breeders' Cup for the next couple of years.
Go.
Well, obviously this year it's at Del Mar. 2026, it'll be at Keeneland. They're finishing up that renovation of that paddock building right next to where they saddle the horses. That'll be done this year. And with the renovation at Belmont Park done in September of next year, they will host the 2027 Breeders' Cup. That'll be the first Breeders' Cup in New York since 2005.
Oh, wow. Well, that's going to be great, too, because that is a state-of-the-art facility that they're building there at Belmont, and they deserve to get the Breeders' Cup back in New York. Always a problem with the weather at that time of the year, and but given that, outside of that, I'm sure there's going to be a blockbuster at Belmont Park for the Breeders' Cup returning to the Empire State and Belmont Park and its new facility, that's for sure. And I would imagine that when Pimlico gets done, maybe there'll be one in Maryland. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously, if the states are going to spend the money to renovate their properties, we should show them off whenever possible.
Absolutely, and it's best to do that on the big day, big weekend of racing like the Breeders' Cup. Of course, it's wherever it's at. We're always doing big stuff here for the Breeders' Cup at the South Point. That's for sure.
Absolutely, and wherever it is, we'll be doing some seminars, and we'll be going to the windows too.
You darn right, my man. Quick thought of Monday's stakes races, recaps there for Santa Anita.
Well, the big story was Safi Joseph. He had never won a race at Santa Anita, so he won the first 2 races ever at Santa Anita, and they happened to be stakes races. He wins the Gamely with Be Your Best, and he comes right back in the next race in the Hollywood Gold Cup with Skippy Longstocking, both ridden by Arad Ortiz. So you can check that box off. Safi Joseph can ship to California, and he can win.
John, it's Skippy Longstocking is such a great story for horse racing. When you talk about, everybody thinks that, and the moniker, of course, is the sport of kings, but yet regular guys can find their way of getting a nice horse as well. This horse was purchased for $37,000 and has made over $6.6 million already, and he is one tough customer.
And he's been so well managed. They picked their spots, and it was a good time to trial the 1.25 miles because the older handicap horses here were a little bit soft. And again, that's good management by Safi Joseph. Come in now, he's proven at 1.25 miles. He's got one heck of a resume, and wherever you put him, he's going to give you 100%. Those are the kind of horses we're fans of, Ralph. Those are the kind that we grew up watching.
Yeah, no kidding. Not too many of them left, but when they are, they really shine for you. That's for sure. John, again, the Lindo report we'll take for this week because there's limited racing. But for this week, the Lindo report will cover what?
We'll do Churchill Downs tomorrow. We'll do the 3 days of Santa Anita, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I was going to do the late pick 5 at Churchill Downs Saturday, but I'm going to do the whole card. The early part of that card is good too. I'll do the 11 race card at Churchill on Saturday as well.
And of course, the following week, you'll be doing obviously Santa Anita again, and all of that week at Saratoga.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, you got it, John. You're going to do a lot of handicapping work there, and I'm glad you got the one day off, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
You got it, Ralph. We'll be ready to fire tomorrow.
Oh, thanks a lot, my man. All right, now we're going to go to Jerry Jackowitz standing by. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph.
Well, anything that has happened in racing over the weekend that raised an eyebrow for you?
Well, actually, let me start with last night. What happened?
Go ahead.
I was in the neighborhood doing a little shopping with Bobby J, and ran into some fans of the show.
Really?
Yeah.
And you're living to tell about
surprised.
it. That's good.
He didn't. Ray and his wife Alyssa. Ray didn't say that he recognized me when he saw me. He said he recognized my voice.
Ah, okay. All right.
I don't know what that means. That maybe he's not looking when I'm on the show. He only listens. But
well, we want to say hi to Ray and Elisa. You say?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're big fans of the show, and they listen every day. And it was really great fun to meet Ray last night and.
It is
hear that.
It is always fun to interact with the people who watch us and listen to us on the show. That's why it's so nice to do these seminars once in a while when you can get up and meet people. They come up to you and you share ideas and all of that. And of course, when they have the big parties here for Breeders' Cup and the big ballrooms and the Kentucky Derby, we get a chance to see those people and actually enjoy playing the races with them on those big days as well. Right. So we want to say hi to them, and thanks a lot for watching and listening.
Yeah, and while I'm on the show today is a good time to mention because, well, as you know, there's no racing at Aqueduct this weekend. They're going up to Saratoga for the, I guess it's called the Belmont or Saratoga Festival.
It's called the Belmont
and
Festival.
Of course, they're going to run the Belmont there. So there won't be any racing in New York till June 4th, I believe.
Right. So, 1 week from today, it'll be the Belmont Festival starting at Saratoga.
Right. And at the same time, Bobby and I, we this is time for our summer vacation. So we actually stop. we stopped making the Power Page Plus on June 8th of this year. That's the last day it'll be made, June 8th.
Okay.
And then of this month. And then it will pick up again on July 8th. We're going to take the month. We'll just be making the Power Page during that period of time. It makes it a little easier for me, and we can get some summer vacation type stuff done.
Sure. And let me ask you this. With just doing the Power Pages, obviously, you won't be on the show because why come on the show when you're on vacation? But you'll be sending us selections for those times?
I'm not really sure because I'm not going to be here in Vegas. We'll be on the road, so it's hard for me to say for sure what I'll be doing, but I will when I can, for sure.
Okay, so you'll be sending out the Power Page, though, correct?
Yeah, the Power Page will be made every day. They'll be in all the regular locations and
okay, now
available online.
So then we will take the posture that I'll look for either a star play or a you don't have the feature plays on the Power Page, regular one. So I'll look for a star play or something and make that your play of the day. Is that okay?
Yeah, actually, that I might add to the Power Page. I might add something like a feature play. That I think I might.
Well, if you add the feature play to the Power Page, then I'll use the feature play every day. If not, then we'll look for a star play that has a high rate. How's that?
Sure.
Okay. So we'll keep the Power Page selections going out there, and my interpretation of that. So we'll put that little asterisk next to that. That's for sure.
Well, the Power Page is not, unlike some of the other products, which are really a handicapper's opinion. This is my first choice, my second choice, third choice. Basically, is telling you what to play.
Right.
Power Page is information that we hope you'll use with your own handicapping or other selectors to divine out your own plays.
Right. It's an information sheet more than anything, and we'll try to interpret that information. But when's your last show with us? Real quick.
June 8th.
June 8th. Okay. So until June 8th, you still have only one more thing to say, and you're going to say it.
Have a great race day, everybody.